In the heart of the Arctic, where survival is a daily battle, a mother faces her worst nightmare. Her cub, her world, is drowning, and she can't save it. The mother polar bear stands at the edge of the ice, roaring in anguish. She paces, dives in, swims frantically to her cub, but the slick ice and the fierce current pull it just out of reach. Her powerful claws are useless against the invisible force of nature. Time is running out. Polar bears are the fiercest predators of the Arctic, but even the strongest hunter is powerless against the cruelty of freezing water and thin ice. What drives her isn't instinct, it's something deeper. A mother's love. Exhausted and starving, the mother knows she needs food to keep her strength. Reluctantly, she dives into the icy depths to hunt, but her heart remains with her cub. She surfaces frequently, scanning the horizon, her roars echoing across the ice fields. Is that a polar bear? She isn't attacking, she's begging. The sailors exchange concerned glances, against every instinct to fear the massive predator. One sailor, a rugged, weathered man with kind eyes, steps forward. He senses something isn't right. Grabbing his binoculars, he follows the bear's gaze toward the distant ice floes. That's when he sees it, a small cub struggling in the freezing water, barely clinging to life. That cub doesn't have time for us to be afraid. This is no ordinary rescue. One slip, one crack in the ice, and he could fall into the same deadly water. But compassion drives him forward. Reaching the edge, the sailor spots the cub, its tiny form trembling, eyes dull with exhaustion. He drops to his knees, stretching out his arm, speaking softly as if the words could bridge the gap between species. "It's okay, little one. I've got you." With one final reach, he grabs the cub by the scruff, pulling it free from the icy grip. The cub collapses in his arms, too weak to resist. Carefully, he cradles it against his chest and makes his way back to the ship, the ice groaning ominously beneath him. On board, the crew springs into action. They wrap the cub in blankets, gently drying its soaked fur. Its small body shivers uncontrollably, but its breathing steadies. The sailor carefully examines its frostbitten paws and bruises from the ice, tenderly applying Koflex bandages to protect the wounds. Meanwhile, the mother bear waits anxiously in the water, her eyes never leaving the ship. She paces along the ice, sniffing the air, grunting softly. She doesn't understand what they're doing, but she waits, because hope is stronger than fear. Finally, the sailor carries the cub back to the ship's edge. He lowers it gently onto the ice. The cub stumbles for a moment, disoriented, then looks up. The mother bear rushes over, her powerful frame moving with surprising grace. She sniffs her cub, nuzzling it tenderly, as if counting every breath to make sure it's real. The mother bear looks back at the sailor. There are no words, no gestures to fully capture the depth of her gratitude, but she knows what to do. Without hesitation, she dives into the icy water, disappearing beneath the surface. Moments later, she resurfaces with a large fish clenched in her jaws. She carries it to the ship, laying it on the ice near the sailors. A gift, an offering from a mother who knows what it means to owe someone everything. In the wild, survival is the only rule, but sometimes kindness breaks through. A gift, not of survival, but of gratitude. The sailor smiles, his eyes misty with emotion. He accepts the fish, not as food, but as a symbol, proof that compassion connects us all, even across the divide between human and beast. As the ship prepares to depart, the sailor stands at the railing, waving to the mother bear and her cub. The cub, now stronger, leans against its mother. The bear watches silently, her dark eyes reflecting the ship's silhouette as it fades into the horizon. In the vast, frozen wilderness, their paths crossed for just a moment. But in that brief encounter, lives were saved, hearts were changed, and an unspoken bond was formed. The camera lingers on the mother and cub as they walk side by side into the snowy distance, leaving only paw prints behind, temporary marks in an eternal landscape. This was one mother, one cub, one sailor, but across the Arctic, countless animals face dangers they cannot escape. Thinning ice, freezing waters, dwindling food, and the invisible scars of climate change. We share this planet, and sometimes all it takes is one act of kindness to make a world of difference.